Hey y'all, so I didn't make any visually pleasing intro because this was not about that. I just took the time to tell my story and my experiences in dealing with a situation that forced me to depend on God. I actually allowed dysfunction to become my normal, but I took the steps and I did the work to get in alignment with God so that I would not take hate, bitterness, or doubt to my next season. I'm finally recording this video. I actually been putting this video off um, for a long time, and I guess I just got to the point to where I know that this is what God has told me to do, and so I'd rather be obedient no matter how uncomfortable it was, no matter how invasive I thought it would be, or just like trying to hide behind my insecurities and my doubts or whatever the case may be. I just decided that I would be obedient to what he has placed on my heart to do. Me and my child's father, we had like a terrible breakup. It was very chaotic. I do not recommend. So during the breakup, I felt like basically I was betrayed by him. Like he betrayed me. He betrayed my trust, my love for him and everything. I had hatred in my heart, bitterness. I was sad. I was angry. I was so confused, very depressed. I just didn't understand what was going on. I didn't get it. I didn't understand why it was happening the way it was happening. Once the breakup happened, it was some things that I did that I'm not proud of. I wouldn't condone them. Like the person that I am now, if anybody else was to do that, I would, be like, yeah, no, that's not how you handle it. Right? So I don't condone it. I wouldn't allow my daughter to do the things that I did. And I'm not trying to make any excuses, but I had to realize hurt people hurt people. At that moment, that's basically the situation. I was hurt, and so I wanted to hurt him. And I'm not even trying to like bash anybody. There were things that he did that, like broke me and caused me to have a negative outlook on life, negative outlook on trust, love, like everything. Even like being a parent, it made me have a negative outlook on that. But this is not a bashing video, so I'm not going to go in depth with the things that he did. This video is more so about me and how I like got back into relationship with God, how I like changed my perspective and started to appreciate my past, even my traumas. Like I started to appreciate those traumas because they made me the person who I am today. And then they also forced me to, look and see what I could do in order to prevent those traumas from manifesting in my child, my future kids. I started to appreciate the things that I went through, trying to just find my peace, like genuine happiness and laughter, like a genuine smile. Like I had to get that back. Like I had to forgive myself, and that started with accepting what I allowed to happen, and then to basically move past that. Like during the breakup and after, it was like a lot of back and forth, a lot of arguing, a lot of lies that was told and spread, and then it was more like selfish motives and intention that was going on. I was so confused. I was bitter. I was angry. I was sad. Like all the things that come with a heartbreak, baby, I felt it. I was angry at the world. I was angry at everybody. And so during that season of my life, it was bad, y'all. During that season, like that's ultimately what turned me to God. But I'm not even gonna lie and say that, I turned to God and it was all good. Like first, before I even turned to God, right, I actually like turned away from God. Like I just could not fathom in my mind that God would allow something like this to happen to me, right? Like he must not love me. I must not be a part of his chosen people. Like he can't be real, you know what I'm saying? Because how could he allow me to go through something so painful? Like it was bad, and I just could not trust that there was a God that would allow me to go through this. And I started thinking, nobody know what I'm going through. Nobody know how this feel. This, that, and the third. Like, there's nothing new under the sun. There's people understand what I was going through. I did not trust God. I did not believe in him. I turned completely away from him. And so I tried to like numb my pain by like, doing drugs, alcohol, and I tried to distract myself. I enrolled in school. I started a couple of businesses. I can't even speak necessarily on the businesses because I also got to a point to where I realized that if God did not appoint that in your life, and if it's not in his will for you to do, then he will not bless it. So I can't even necessarily say that my businesses would have been successful had I not been going through the situation that I was going through. But I basically started those businesses to distract myself, and I thought that if I was doing this, then I would not be thinking about my heartbreak, and I wouldn't be thinking about this person, and I would just be able to heal basically and not feel those feelings. I just thought money would solve the issue, like, success would solve my heartbreak. Basically, after a while of me trying to sustain myself, like trying to live life without God, I'm like, this not working. I cannot do this by myself. Like, there's no way. I cannot heal myself. I'm not whole. I'm not happy. None of these things. My spirit, my soul, it was just lacking in all areas. Like, lacking in love, lacking in trust. I didn't trust God. I didn't trust people. I didn't have love for anybody. I couldn't think. Like, I'm like, am I dumb? Like, am I really stupid? Like, I knew that I could not heal myself. I realized that by trying to do that, it wasn't working. It wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. So, like I said, I decided to turn back to God, and I will be patient. Like, I was patient enough to, deal with this person problem. Like, anybody, what I'm saying, that I come in contact with, like, I feel like I'm pretty much an understanding person. I gave all my time to this person, like trying to understand them, being patient with them. Why can't I give the same time and the same respect to God? I have to be patient. And this situation has totally forced me to work my patient muscle. Like, I ain't have a lick of patience at one point, right? But this situation, like, I have to be patient. Like, I have to wait on God, because if I don't wait on God and I go out here and try to do something on my own, by my own means, and I try to rush the process, it's going to take me back to a version of me that I cannot be anymore. Like, I cannot be the old version of me no more. I didn't like who that person was. I didn't like the way that person thought, the way that person acted. I didn't like the way that person looked. So I have to wait and be patient for God instead of going out here and trying to get it on my own. I committed my time to like being in my word. I committed time to praying, just meditating, like everything that I needed to do in order to get back in covenant relationship with God. I blotted out time in my schedule to make sure that it happened. When I first started my journey, right, I was still wavering. I realized that I needed God who was long-term and permanent over my temporary fixes. I need something that's for sure, and I need to be able to heal so that I can break these curses so my daughter don't have to deal with them, so my other children don't have to deal with them. I can motivate and encourage other women that you can still have a happy life. Like, there is life after disgrace. You could be a good mama by yourself. You can live life. You can just be this person that God has planned for you to be, even though you went through something so painful, because that's going to shape you and that's going to give you the experience. That's something that you can take to your next, because life is not going to get easy after you go through your first situation, after you go through your first heartbreak. It's still things that you have to learn, and it's still things that you have to go through. So I understood that I had to go through this thing that happened to me in order to prevent it from happening to my daughters, to prevent my sons from doing this, or even it happening to my sons. I had to be an encouragement and an example for other women or young girls who are going through this situation. I pray that he will just soften my heart, not allow my heart to harden because this situation broke me. Like, I was not going to allow this season in my life to define the rest of my life. I just asked that God would give me what I needed in that moment, what I needed to understand the situation, move on from it, but first grow from it and develop changes in my behavior and the things that I accepted, so that I will not be accepting those things that the old version of me accepted, acting the way that the old version of me acted. I was basically willing to sacrifice the older version of me. I was willing to sacrifice the habits, the desires, in order to step into this newer version of myself. That's the reason why we go through situations, so that we can accept the version of us that God wants us to be. We can accept the assignments and tasks that he put on our life to fulfill our purpose. I just pray for patience. I pray for his guidance. I pray that I would be able to stand up for myself. I pray for a lot of things, y'all, because now that I'm walking into this new version of myself, I don't want to do or be involved with or connected to any person, thing, place that will hinder me or distract me from doing what it is that God called me to do. I just prayed. I prayed like that man probably got tired of me. And y'all, honestly, it's so bad, right? Because I pray so much. I'm thinking in my mind at the time, I'm like, dang, like, I'm taking up God's time, and there's people losing their moms, people losing their children, and I'm crying about, you know what I'm saying, some boy. Like, how that work? But that was my battle. I don't want anybody to think that whatever they're going through or their situation is less important than the next person's situation. Don't allow any person to invalidate your feelings because they don't agree with it, or they think you should be stronger than that, or they just think, you know what I'm saying, that the situation is just like not something worthy of being sad about or just being confused about. Don't allow nobody to invalidate your feelings, because 9 times out of 10 they haven't went through something like that. And if they did go through something like that, they didn't heal correctly. So don't allow people to just belittle you or your feelings or make you feel like your feelings are not important. I pray so much, I feel bad. And I'm like, I just want him to take some of the blessings that he have reserved for me and give them to somebody else. Because I pray so much, y'all. Like, I just pray to be in alignment with him. That's like, that was the thing that I prayed for the most. And for him to release those spirits and those feelings of like bitterness and anger, sadness, depression. Like, depression had to let me go, honey. But I definitely prayed to just be in alignment with him, because I didn't want anything that he didn't want for me, that he didn't plan for me, that he didn't bless for me, honey. So I just prayed. I was intentional with my prayer, and I believed everything that I prayed to God that he would actually do for me. I humbled myself, I obeyed God, and I also had to, like I said, discipline myself to stay in that mindset of, you know, trusting God, waiting for God, so that I would not step out of his will. I could not be the person to go through this situation again without having fully healed. God allow us to go through situations so that we could turn to him. And so I never want to like say that I don't want to go through no more situations, because if that's what God has for me, baby, then that means I need to get closer to him, and he using that situation so I can do so. I just wanted to be stronger, just in case another situation came up in my life. I don't have to allow the situation to define me. So I didn't just pray. I believed in God wholeheartedly, but that's not the only thing I did. I also started taking up more time with myself. Y'all, I started loving on myself so hard. Like, the way that I wanted somebody else to love me, that's what I showed to myself. I started taking care of myself more, like just spending time with myself, spoiling myself in a sense. Like, I started getting my nails done. I started buying me things, applying more care and more attention to myself. I started getting my hair done. You know what I'm saying? I started back dressing up, going places. Well, I'm lying. I ain't go nowhere. I still don't necessarily go nowhere, right? But just self-care. I started taking care of myself. I started encouraging myself. And at times where I was like, go back to like those thoughts, I'm like, Cree, not even that hurt person no more. Be patient with yourself, but do not allow yourself to make decisions based off of a past hurt, because 9 times out of 10 you're not that person no more, but the devil is trying to tempt you into returning back to that person. Well, now you this whole healed person. Allow that thought to go through your mind and then say, wow, I felt that way, but now look at me. This situation, I did not think that I would ever heal from this. I'm like, I'm never gonna be the same. And that's a good thing. Me never being the same is awesome. Like, I will never allow that. Never say never, because never is a strong word. But the person that I am now, and knowing God and trusting God, I will never allow the things that I used to allow to happen to me now. I will never play a role that I played in that situation ever again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I will never be the same, but that's the good thing. I'm a totally different person. I'm not that old hurt version of myself. And it feels so good to say. Like, it feel good to say. It feel good to feel. It feel good to know that I'm not hurt no more. I'm not bitter. I will never be that person, and I don't want to be that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm healed. I'm happy. I laugh. Like, you know them laughs that be like, bruh, like, I laugh for real now. Like, I don't have to force myself to laugh, like, force myself to smile. Like, I'm really happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm at peace. I understand. And I always say, like, what is it? I accept my past. I appreciate my present. And I'm ready to receive my next. Like, the things that have happened to me in this life so far has only made me desire life more. Honey, like, I'm so happy, and it's like, dang, so more life. You know what I'm saying? More life so I can get more experience and more positive perspective on life. Like, I love my life. At one point, you know what I'm saying, when I was going through that, I did not love myself. I did not love my life. I was just stressed out. Like, it was like dark. Like, I had no energy in my body. My soul, my spirit was just dead, y'all. But now it's like, I'm just so happy. Like, I just appreciate God changing my perspective. And the way that I perceive life now, the way that I perceive my situation, it's like, that was good for me. I needed to go through that in order to be the person that God wants me to be. The person that I'm walking into, yeah, everything that He has for me, I know that I need it. I was scared to get in a relationship with God, because I'm like, I've done some things that He does not approve of. Like, how can He answer my prayers and I done been out here sinning. But like, after I done dedicated my time, committed to understanding and being patient, it's like, okay, I have to suffer the consequences for my sins and my actions, but God has forgiven me. And you know what I'm saying? He's blessing me with this perspective. Because people think that you blessed because you have money or you got houses and cars and all this other stuff. I'm blessed because I have a relationship with Him, and I can genuinely understand why things had to happen the way that they happen. I'm just happy. I'm happy. I'm at peace. And that's not to say, like, I still go through moments where, like I said, the devil try to tempt me into, like, going back into that old version of me being hurt. And it's like, bro, I'm not that hurt person no more. So those feelings still come up, and I allow myself to feel those feelings. I allow those feelings to pass, because I'm not going to let those feelings drive my actions. I'm not going to allow those feelings or any person keep me in my past hurt, keep me in my past embarrassments, the things that I used to do. I'm not going to allow nobody to do that, because I've healed. I've done the work to be healed and to be happy, and I deserve to be happy. So I'm not going to allow anybody to make me feel like, you know, I'm still hurt or you still bitter, this, that, and the third. Like, kill that narrative. That's old news, right? Like, I'm elevating, and I'm only elevating because I have this changed perspective from God. Like, when I first started, like I said, I wanted to be in a relationship with God so that He could do what I wanted Him to do for me. Now it's like, God, I just need to know who You are so that I can receive what it is that you want me to do. You feel me? He gonna tell me what to do. He gonna tell me where to go. I don't want to be in control of nothing. I feel like this is what I had to do in order for God to trust me and propelling me into my next. Because y'all, I'm about to be, I am leading Cornerstone Child Children's Ministry of Chosen and Covered Ministries. So that's very exciting to me. Y'all, I'm stressed out. That stressed me out more than anything. Like, that's how I knew I had to get out of that little rough, you know what I'm saying? Because it's more. I have more to do. God has more for me. And I can't take bitterness to my next, right? I can't take anger to my next. I have to be focused solely on what God has. So that's exciting, but it's also stressful. Pray for me, yeah. Pray for me, but I'm definitely excited to take that journey to accept that assignment, because I really do feel like it's basically so that I can get even closer to him. So I do believe that God placed that on Minister Preston's heart for me, just so I can commit more to our relationship, commit more to me actually learning the Bible and being able to teach it. Now, that's the thing that I'm having trouble on, as far as, finding creative ways, ideas, and concepts to teach in order for the kids to effectively like receive it and be able to apply it. So I'm not I have the hardest problem of like thinking of things, and I believe, I trust, right? Because God gives you an assignment, and He will not give you the instructions or the directions for your next assignment until you fulfill the initial assignment. And so I am fulfilling this assignment because this is what God put on my heart to do, but also because I need His advice, I need His guidance in order to be effective in the children's ministry that He has assigned to me. I have to devote more time into my relationship. I have to, get back into being fully obedient and not partially. And that's on me, you feel me? But, it's a process, and it's not always smooth sailing. You have your moments. I know I have mine. And so I'm just thankful that life is giving what it's supposed to give at this moment. God is allowing me to have habits, not even habits, but hobbies. I guess it is a habit now at this point, but he's allowing me to have hobbies but they're healthy habits. Like, I work out every day, y'all, and that's a good habit to have. It's not only beneficial for my physical, but it's also beneficial for my mental. Working out allows me to just declutter. I just feel so relieved after I go work out. So I'm just so thankful and so grateful that God has accepted the invitation back into my life. I move on from my past hurt. I move on from that past embarrassment, from depression, resentment, sadness, betrayal. Because, listen, Jesus was betrayed too. So I'm just moving on from all of that, and I just pray that I can continue to stay in His will, and I can continue to be obedient and discipline myself so that I could stay focused. I plant generational seeds in my daughter that are pleasing to God. I'm just thankful. Because period. And with that being said, I'll be blessed. If you're going through something right now, you have to take the time to get in a relationship with God, communicate with Him, let Him know everything that's on your heart, how you feel about the situation, how you feel about, people in your life, the habits. Let Him know how you feel about Him, honey. Be patient. God is the only one. He's the only one that could do the things that you need. God has not upset me, because I know if He removes something away from me, it's because He's protecting me. So God has not upset me. God has not upset you. It's the people in your life and the decisions that you make that are outside of His will that has upset you. So just get in relationship with God, y'all. Be patient, be understanding, be receptive, And be willing to put in the work, because it's not just you get in a relationship with God and all of your troubles are gone. You have to put in the work. Faith without works is dead. Dub. A 10 and 2 5s. I know, but you just have to be patient. You have to be willing to go through the things, and you have to accept and appreciate them. All right, y'all, I'm done for it.